South Africa is so much more than Cape Town, and beyond this iconic city lies a journey that reveals the true soul of South Africa, the legendary garden route. Now, 10 years ago, James and I first discovered this well-trodden route stretching along the southeastern coast, a place where lush rainforests give way to stark desert plains, where the mountains meet the churning Atlantic and Indian Oceans. This is a land teeming with wildlife, where you can track elephants at dawn, see exotic birds and watch whales at sunset, where every turn in the road reveals another breathtaking view that seems better than the last. A decade later, we've returned to see how time has transformed this magical area, for better and for worse. No sponsors, no filters, just our honest experience and views to help you craft your own adventure. Forget the tourist traps, we're taking you deep into the heart of the garden route's secret gems, the overlooked towns, the hidden beaches, and the local haunts where South African life unfolds in its most authentic way. From adrenaline-pumping adventures to serene natural escapes, we'll show you exactly where to go, when to visit, how to stay safe, and where to find those perfect meals and memorable stays that won't break the budget. So whether you're planning your first garden route adventure or, like us, returning after many years, we hope this helps you decide if this trip is for you and how to make the absolute best of it if you go. Well, we've arrived safe and sound in Hermanus, which is where we're recording this from, in our lovely Airbnb, which we'll show you around later. And today we are going to explore Hermanus, and we're also going to walk on the beautiful coastal path route, which James hasn't done before.
Last time we did the garden route was 10 years ago, when we first introduced Rob to South Africa. So we're going to see how much it's changed in 10 years. Yeah.
And so we've got a few days in Hermanus, 2 more days in Hermanus, then we are driving to Barrydale and staying in a rustic location, so I'll be really interested to see what that's like and show you, near the famous Diesel and Cream, if you know that. Then we're heading to Knysna, and then we head to Tsitsitkama, and we are exploring that area before we fly back to Cape Town. So we have driven about 30 minutes from Cape Town Airport and have stopped in Gordon's Bay on the way to Hermanus, and we stopped at our favourite restaurant called On The Go, which is this coffee on the go, which they do really good food and really nice cakes, and this place is definitely worth stopping. And if you're driving to Hermanus, then Gordon's Bay is a really nice place to stop. We'll show you around in a moment once we've had some coffee to wake ourselves up. Beach, which is lovely. So nice to see blue sky and blue sea and a sandy beach and lots of people out enjoying themselves, and then you can just see a bit of the town centre. It's not a big place, but it's a really nice place to stop on the way to Hermanus. So stop, have a wander, look in the shops, go and have a coffee or some lunch at the coffee to go cafe that we just at, and then head off back about an hour from here to Hermanus. Meal, we are going to eat at Bientangs, which is overlooking the sea, and we saw quite a few good reviews of it. And you have to walk down quite a long flight of stairs. Luckily we've made a reservation.
It'd be interesting to see what it's like coming up in the dark.
Yeah, as I say, it might be lit, but it isn't.
Maybe a couple of glasses of Chenin Blanc will be crawling up.
But look, some great views. It's like it's in the jungle, doesn't it? But obviously the reason people come here is because of the view. So we are gonna definitely be eating with a view tonight. So here's a quick look at the menu, and then here's the food. Charcuterie butter. These people over here are taking their lives in their own hand as the tide comes in, and actually they've just moved. It's getting wetter and wetter and wetter. But we've got our first glass of Chenin Blanc with the traditional ice to keep it nice and cool. So what do you think so far, James?
So far, so good. We were flagging earlier on.
Still are a bit.
Yeah, still. But I think now that we're out sitting by the sea, glass of wine in hand, I think we've got a little bit of a second wind. Once we've had our dinner, I think we'll probably have an early night.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of days, and we're eating early tonight because this place shuts at 8 o'clock. So if you do want to come here, you need to be seated by 6. So we are, placed our order. Hopefully the food's good. It's not that cheap here, but obviously you're paying quite a lot for the atmosphere of where you are sitting. And as you can see, it's a fantastic...
It's also one of the premier restaurants to do land-based whale watching from as well.
Yeah, so
if you want to watch the whales whilst getting pissed and eating, this is the place to be.
And of course, it's not the right time of year now because we're here in January and whale watching is sort of October, November. So we're very unlikely to see any whales, but you never know. Okay, our starters have just arrived. James has got the squeaky cheese halloumi, grilled halloumi with roadkill. It looks like it's died on the side of the road.
Bread.
And I've got the panko breadcrumb prawns. You can't really go wrong with that, can you? So James is going to tell us what he thought of the meal. I think it's a bit tight. But anyway, go quick.
It was okay. Expensive for what it is. It served a purpose. It was nice. Not blow you away kind of food.
I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to actually hear because it's very windy, but we are just starting walking on the Hermanus coastal path, which is a famous coastal walk that I've done a number of times before, and we're going to walk all the way down the coast, all the way down here to that point in the distance. Such a lovely walk that is really well done. It's laid out for people with mobility issues and it's really lovely. So anyway, we'll show you anything of interest as we go. Okay, we have got to the end of our walk and we've made it to the Rock restaurant where we've had a really nice breakfast. Breakfast with a view. It takes about half an hour to walk here, but it's an easy walk. It's the first time James has done it. So we are just going to finish our drinks and then we are going to head back. We have now left Hermanus and we've driven about half an hour, right, up the mountain to a place called Caledon, and we've come to use their spa for the day. And because I'm an OAP, I'm over 60, it's got to be some benefits, right? I managed to get in for 105 rand, which is about £5. And James is
160 because I'm still young.
And there is a number of pools here. So look, you can see there's a Victorian bath, different temperatures.
Natural hot springs.
Yeah, so it looks really lovely and it's not that busy today. You can see some of the other things here. So we'll take you along with us and show you what it's like and see whether you think it's worth making the detour to come here. So this is the Victorian. Look at that. Like a really old Victorian bathhouse. So apparently the water is this colour because it's full of minerals. Yeah, but it's certainly like an old Victorian bathhouse, isn't it? There are a number of pools in the spa laid out on a hill, and they start at the hottest at the top, and as the water cascades down, each pool gets a bit cooler. This pool was in the middle and it was really warm, and in fact as we got to the top pools they were too hot to go into, but this one plus the Victorian swimming pool were fantastic, and this place is well worth a visit, especially if you go during the week, because you can see how quiet it was, and definitely worth a stop on your garden route journey. in Greyton just for lunch. Have a wander around and it looks very pretty.
One street kind of place.
But lots of nice places, lots of places for lunch and delis, and it looks like quite an arty community. So we stopped at, I'm not quite sure where this place is actually, but we stopped for lunch in a deli in Greyton, and James has done another good finding this place. It's a really nice arty place to walk through. It seems like it's in the middle of nowhere, but suddenly this whole community appears. Anyway, I'm having a very healthy immune booster since I've got toothache and I need to get better. So yeah, and we've ordered a salad and a sandwich, so we'll see what that's like when it arrives. Very nice, very healthy. I've got a cheese ham and tomato toasty on homemade rye bread with some fries. Not so healthy, but it looks very good. One of the things that we really love about South Africa that a lot of people are not aware of is how many beautiful little towns there are, like Greyton that we're in now, that's full of these little arts and craft shops and delis and cafes, and definitely worth going off the beaten track for. Like, we're driving down here and you wouldn't think anything like this exists. And suddenly,
it's only 20 minutes off the N2, not far from Caledon as well. So you can just pop off to the side and just explore these, as they call them here, dorpies, which means small town. And yeah, just to see a complete different side of things.
And everybody is super friendly as well. So obviously pleased that we are bringing our trade to these shops. We're going to go and have a look inside. We're going to step down and explore the beautiful gift store. Fortunately, we can't really buy anything because we've got no room in our luggage until we get to Cape Town. Yeah, it's a what-not shop. Posh chocolate shop. So we're driving a bit of middle of nowhere Africa, which is all part of the adventure. Google Maps has taken us down here. We've done a few of these dirt tracks before, but I'm not sure our little rental car is designed for driving on this, but luckily we've only got another 7.5 kilometres to go, and we cut a bit of the time off our journey. All good fun, part of the adventure. It to our second stop on the garden route. We are staying in the Karoo Moon Motel, which is part of the famous Diesel and Cream, where you can have fantastic milkshakes and burgers and so on. I'm sure we'll partake at some point, but let's show you quickly around this very, very funky, also really cost-effective hotel. I think we're paying about £46 a night. We pay about 46 quid a night to stay here, aren't we?
No.
So excuse our mess, but this is the entrance with a funky kitchen, but with everything you need. Coffee, hopefully there's some coffee pods, and a fridge. Ooh. Got juices and things in, which is really nice, but no milk. And you come into the sitting room area. Some lovely sofas and James's bed.
That's where you sleep tonight.
And then more comfy sofas. It's me, hello. And then the bathroom, which is very nice and rustic, I think is what you'd call it, but it looks really nice. It's really well done, isn't it?
It's funky. Quirky and funky.
And then come through into the bedroom. Oh, there's shutters on the outside. I was thinking, blimey, it's going to be bright in here. With a lovely big bed. And all your mod cons, it has got air conditioning, so if it does get really hot, which it's supposed to, then we won't bake, and you've got your own little terrace area out there. But it's just really well done and very funky. So that is the Karoo Moon Hotel, and this is the suite. And as I said, I think it was about £46 a night. Good morning. After a decent night's sleep in a very good bed, we are going to explore the area today. It is going to be baking hot. It's not even 9 o'clock and it's already really hot. But you can see the beautiful colours. We're going to go and grab a coffee at Diesel and Cream before we go exploring. So let's take you around. Quick look around the restaurant. Look at that cute dog. This is the inside of the restaurant with some very retro arcade games. And this is the restaurant. In a very similar style to our actual accommodation as well. A whole collection of rubber ducks. And there's some of the food that you can get. So I'm having a red velvet milkshake for breakfast, so very healthy.
We're now going to walk around Barrydale quickly because it's still early morning, otherwise it's going up to 36. So at the moment we're along Route 62, which is one of the famous wine routes, alternative to going to Franschhoek and Stellenbosch. And yeah, we're just going to have a little mooch. Probably everything's still shut at the moment because it's still early.
About 18 kilometres down the R62 and we've come to famous Ronnie's sex shop. Apparently it used to be called Ronnie's shop and some friends decided to write sex on there and it's stuck ever since. So let's see what it is here. Literally in the middle of nowhere. This is what the inside of the place looks like. Wow, impressive. A few rose bras. Good morning, we are just leaving Barrydale, heading towards Caledon Spa on the way to Knysna, driving through the Klein Karoo. In the middle of nowhere, but fairly spectacular scenery. We don't see very many vehicles, except for a few lorries. There's one coming up now. It's about a 3-hour drive to get to Knysna, and we're going to do a couple of stops along the way of places that we haven't been to before. So we've just driven, I don't know how many hours, about 3 hours.
3 hours in total.
Yeah, from Barrydale
to Caledon Spa, and then Caledon Spa to Wilderness.
And we stopped for lunch in Wilderness, and
the scenery's completely changed now.
Yeah, so it's now
Lush.
we're now in a lush green coastal environment. It seems to be very busy.
Yeah,
there's the Wilderness Hotel over there, and it's lovely temperature, probably in the high 80s.
Whatever that is.
That's about 30 degrees, something or other. Anyway, we're going to try and find somewhere to have some lunch. So if you are driving the garden route, you're coming this way, Wilderness is a nice place to stop, have a walk on the beach and have some lunch. Wilderness is definitely a place that's worth stopping on your garden route journey. It's really pretty, lots of places for lunch. You can have a stroll around the beach and the river before you head out back on the road. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Bloom, which is a bit of a different hotel to the one we've just stayed in Barrydale. As you can see, it's rather spectacular when it should be, when it's 5 times the price of yesterday's hotel. But let's start over here. So it's got like a bath in the room, and I'm not sure we'll be using that, but it's got lovely bath salts and potions and lotions, and I'm not sure where the water comes from, but there's a tap. Look at that ceiling. Sink and basin, and then a loo with a lovely shower, rainfall shower heads, and lovely bathrobes and towels. Now this hotel is the sister hotel to the Villa Africaine that we stayed in 10 years ago. They didn't have any vacancies, so we booked this one instead. And then, yeah, it's certainly lovely. And then look at this. How about this lovely bed? Ooh. Oh, nice ceiling fan to keep things well. And then look, wake up with a view like that. And oh yeah. They also have afternoon tea from 4 till 5 at the Villa Africaine, which we should definitely do tomorrow, so that we can go, at least go and have a look at it again. And then they have a free bar from 7 till 8, which we'll miss because we're going to have dinner. And then this is the terrace out here. So there we go. This is the Bloom Hotel. We're here for a couple of nights before we go back to slumming it again.
We're on Pheasant Island now. Yeah, so we've just come to explore. Everything's still shut, but it looks quite a nice place to come and just mooch around. Loads of stores and stuff. I think we're going to that restaurant there. It's called Sirocco. Looks expensive, I think, but hopefully the food's good. Yeah, we're just going to walk along the waterfront. It used to be an old port, an industrial thing, and they've redone it all and bought shops and restaurants and bars and stuff. So think of the V&A, but on a very tiny scale.
Seeing some of the wildlife of Africa. It's an ibis apparently. Here's some of the residential property that you could buy or rent. Looks very nice. So we're in Sirocco restaurant. It's a really nice place, and our starters have just arrived. James is having the salmon tartare, and I'm having the homemade focaccia with artichoke dip. And I still can't drink because I'm on antibiotics, so I'm drinking wine and soda, and James has got a carafe of Chenin Blanc. So our mains have arrived, and I've got the chicken pasta with the remains of my starter, and James has got the fillet steak with extra veg, but they bought him chips, so they're bringing their extra veg. Let's bring the extra veg now.
It's a lot smaller than on the Pizza grill.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, hopefully it will taste nice. It smells good. Good morning, everybody. It's another beautiful day in Knysna, and we have driven up to the Knysna Head, which is about a 10-minute drive out of town. And you can see behind me the spectacular views. Hopefully we're getting some good sort of drone-like footage as well, which you can put on here. This is somewhere that's definitely worth coming to see, and it's worth coming in the morning because as you can see right now, it isn't busy.
The morning light, the sun hitting the lagoon, brings out all the colours. Once the sun goes over the other side, it just turns blue, but here you will get all the nuances of the greens and blues.
I really hope the camera is picking up how beautiful it is, and right now we've got the place to ourselves. You can see all the way down there. You can go hiking down to the bottom as well, but definitely somewhere worth coming. And it's about 10 o'clock in the morning at the moment, and you can see how beautiful it is, and it's nice and quiet as well. There's lots of different points along the way, giving you different views. Taking you right out to sea. Not one for a fan of heights. We are very high up here. So coming to the Knysna Heads is worth it for an early morning view, especially on a lovely sunny day like today before it gets too hot as well. So we have come to Ile de Pin for a cup of coffee. We saw lots of recommendations about this place, and it's 5 to 11 and it's really busy in here already, so I guess that's a good sign. So it's like a deli, you can buy lots of lovely things in here. You can buy takeaway food. Some of the things that they sell, I guess you can buy to take away. And then the piece de resistance is all the lovely cakes. I'm tempted by all of these. The apple strudel looks really nice, but I'm being a good boy. There's more stuff here as well. So we've come down to the Knysna harbour area to have a mooch around. It's getting quite hot now, so it doesn't kind of motivate you to do very much, but this is the harbour area, full of, as James would like to say, lots of whatnot shops, eh James?
Yeah.
Well, we're on the hunt for a wedding ring, so we'll find a nice shop that will do a wedding ring that's quite plain, but also got a little bit of Africa in it, is what I'm hoping for. Somehow I don't think we're going to find it here though, do you? Yeah, but anyway, it's a very kind of seaside-y area, this area. Lots of restaurants and shops and seafood. And you probably get a lot of your charters if you're going out to sea for the day from here. And you can buy all those things that you think look really nice here, and then you get them home and think they look a bit tacky. Anyway, it's definitely worth coming to have a mooch around the harbour, and there's lots of restaurants you can eat at as well. This is the bottom end of the harbour. Lots of restaurants. 34 South is where we're coming tonight to eat. We are having our last meal in Knysna, and we are at 34 degrees south, which is probably, it's a huge restaurant. We're surrounded by tour groups, which is joyful. And our starter just arrived. I've got the sort of deconstructed prawn cocktail, and James has got the
Jalapeno bites.
Yeah, it was the only non-fishy thing on the menu because James isn't a fan of fish. But I've got to say it looks very well presented, so hopefully it tastes as good. So James's food has arrived, a large steak on a skewer. Oh, thank you. Perfect, thank you. And mine's a bit more reserved.
Second stomach by the sounds of it.
I've got the king clip with some veg and a rosti. James, so I've just finished eating at 34 South. What did you think of that, James?
It was alright. It wasn't the best. Sirocco was better. It did what it said on the tin. But yeah, no, Sirocco is definitely, out of the two so far, that was
it was a bit annoying really. We booked this way in advance and we were crammed in between two massive tour groups. It wasn't exactly a kind of tranquil place to eat. The service was good, the food was okay. It was quite expensive. So yeah, Sirocco is definitely better, but it is a lovely sunset to end our 2 days in Knysna, and tomorrow we're heading towards
Tsitsitkama.
And we're going to do
lots of stuff.
Good morning everyone, it's Saturday today and we've left Knysna and we are driving towards Plettenberg Bay on the N2. It's about 30 kilometres from Knysna, just past the Elephant Park, which we've been to before. But we're going to go to Plettenberg Bay and then we're going to go to Birds of Eden
Nature's Valley.
and then Nature's Valley. on our way to Tsitsitkama for our last stop before we finish our garden route tour and fly back to Cape Town. So just parked up at Plettenberg Beach. It is baking hot, and you get a beach massage. There's people in the sea, even though it's the Atlantic Ocean and it's cold. And lots of little shacks to grab coffee. So we have just stopped about 50 minutes after Plettenberg Bay, and we are coming to Birds of Eden, which you'll see is a fantastic bird sanctuary. And we just realised that we've stayed here before at a place called Trogon House, which is
just down there. There's a tree house type thing in the forest, in Tsitsitkama forest.
But it was very weird, wasn't it? Because there was a massive storm, a tree fell down and it landed on top of the car next to ours, and we were stuck there until they could get a tree surgeon type person to come in and chop the tree down to unblock the path. Anyway, you can see how beautiful it is, and it doesn't look very busy here today. And so you can go to Birds of Eden. You can also do the Monkey Land.
There's an elephant sanctuary.
And there's also an elephant sanctuary here. So you can do all of those things in one go and buy your ticket and get combo tickets. But we're just going to do the Birds of Eden today. So last time we were here, we went to Monkey Land. And when you do that, you do it as part of a tour group. And part of our group was some very annoying people who were complaining about the monkeys not being friendly enough or something. And the next minute, one of the monkeys pooed on this woman, which was the ultimate karma, and made everybody, including the tour guide, snigger. It's 410 rand each, which is about £20 each to get in. And then when you come inside, you're in this tropical sort of jungle, which is protected by a net at the top. Hello, Mr. Peahen.
See the colour of the eyes.
Amazing. Almost like they've been colourised. Yeah. So we've come down to Nature's Valley, which is a river here, which is lovely and warm. Got our feet out and walking in the water because the sand is too hot. And then over there is the sea. And it's absolutely lovely today, and it's not too crazy busy either. So we've come to the Blue Cranes Bridge, which is where people bungee jump from right there. James says he would do it, but I certainly wouldn't. And someone's just jumped. You can see the skyline to actually get there. Sorry? Welcome to Tsitsitkama Village Inn. And we are staying at number 33, which has its own little stoop. A nice little seating area. And then, what's it called in here? It's so hot outside. Nice big bed with a rather grandiose balcony. Some air conditioning, super important. Tea and coffee making facilities, and look at that, some old-fashioned radio, and then a functional but perfectly adequate bathroom. So we're here for a couple of nights, the last part of our garden route trip. These apparently, James tells me, are suites because they've got a slightly bigger bed. And then there's different rooms. Oh, it's warm, but it's lovely, very well done. It'd be really interesting to know the history of this place. What do you think they'd mind? Don't you want to be nosy? Like we always like being nosy. Well done. There's 2 restaurants here. We're going to go to one of them tonight. 3.
We've got Marta, which is their restaurant.
Where we're going tonight.
There's the pub, and then there's the 60s diner.
It's really warm. What do you say? Warm? How warm it is, James? So it's very warm.
It's really tiddy hot.
Good morning, everybody. We are in Tsitsitkama National Park and we are going to see
The suspension bridges, so we're doing the walk that goes along the coast to the suspension bridges. So,
we read quite a few negative reviews about this because of how chaotic it is. As you can see, there's quite a lot of construction going on at the moment. They're building a new restaurant.
and a visitor centre.
And luckily for us, it's Sunday, it's slightly out of season, so it wasn't too bad. But you have to give your registration number, date of birth and everything else, shoe size when you come in. And it was
562 rand.
for 2 of us, so not cheap. And the car park was small and we managed to park, but I can imagine on a busy day it wouldn't be great. But hopefully we'll be made up with some amazing views, so let's go and see what we can find. We were just saying that South Africa does these type of national parks really, really well. Here's a little outdoor classroom. James, what can you tell us?
About 33 insect species and plants.
I think if you are coming here on a quiet day like we are today, it's okay. We managed to get parking, but it would be very chaotic otherwise. But it's a little bit cooler today, it's still really hot, and it is really nice being in the trees. Obviously, if you're doing this, make sure you are wearing comfortable shoes and you've got some water with you. There's a shop by the car park, so we bought some water there.
Not for the infirm.
Say that again?
It's not for the infirm.
No. So we're walking about 1 kilometre now to the first suspension bridge. And it's obviously moving uphill gradually because it's a suspension bridge. So let's see how long it takes and what it's like to see when we get there. There's the suspension bridge we're heading towards. I'm quite sure how to get there, but I guess we'll keep walking for now. Nearly there. There's a lovely view of the suspension bridge.
Yeah.
I don't normally like heights, but this isn't too high. Oh my god, but it is bouncy. But what a spectacular, oh my god. Oh, I don't like it. What a spectacular view. This bridge is very bouncy. Oh. But I'm doing this for the channel and for great views. Hi. Right, like I said, I'm doing this for the channel, so. And a fantastic view. So this excursion is definitely worth doing. Make sure you wear a pair of sturdy shoes. You bring lots of water and sunscreen and get there early because, as we said, it gets busy and there's lots of construction, so there's very limited parking. And people have complained about that in the reviews, but we found it to be fine as long as we got there early. If you're South African, you get a discount, but if you're not, you have to pay the full price and fill in lots of paperwork. And make sure you keep your ticket because you need to show it on the way out as well as the way in. But a day really well spent, and I hope you agree, there's some spectacular views. And there we go, you made it. Let's just have a look at where we've just come from. All the way down there, all the way up through the hills. over there. It's a lovely breeze here, so I think we'll stop and cool down for a bit. So we are back from our 10 days on the garden route. We are ensconced in our new apartment, and we thought we would just do a quick wrap-up summary of our thoughts of our 10 days on the garden route. Now, I want to say that my experience this year has been a little bit marred. I didn't really share it on the video, but I ended up having really bad toothache, having to find a dentist in Hermanus, get an x-ray, get some antibiotics, and thankfully, touch wood, I'm all better now, but that did make me feel pretty ill, give me no sleep, and make me not want to eat, and I obviously couldn't drink while I was on antibiotics. But anyway, James, what did you think of our 10 days?
Oh, there was a mixture of things. We did the desert and the sea, so a mixture of dry and tropical, which is quite a nice way of doing it. At least you get to see both sides of South Africa in that respect. The desert side is quieter. I did notice how busy the garden route is. So there's a lot more tour buses, a lot more big organised tours. So it was a bit of a shock in comparison. 10 years ago, I don't remember seeing this many tours. So it's obviously become very popular, and for good reason why. It's such a beautiful place.
Would you do this again?
Personally, no, because we've done it 3 times now.
Yeah.
But definitely worth doing. If you've never done the garden route, it's definitely worth exploring. Or if you've done it years ago, yeah, give it a go again. Try and incorporate the other side of the mountains, so like in the Klein Karoo, either Barrydale, Oudtshoorn, one of those Montague of the R62, so you get a picture of both sides, because the R62 is definitely worth doing as well.
Yeah. And be prepared for a big mix. I mean, it was really quiet. When we were in Barrydale, there were fairly limited choices of places to eat. The same in Tsitsitkama as well, so be prepared for that. It's a very different experience, culinary and everything else, compared to when you're in Cape Town. I think my nitpicks would be that we didn't have great cups of coffee, which is really surprising, because normally coffee is amazing everywhere. People seem a little bit grumpier working here now than they did 10 years ago. I don't know if that's because they're stressed or underpaid or what, but
working in the service sector, dealing with loads of tourists day in, day out, I think I'd probably get.
Well, and also, you know, we're at the end of their summer holidays, so I've had this huge deluge and it's just starting to quieten down a bit. I think the perfect time to come is mid-January into February, because you have to think that Christmas is the school holidays, the equivalent of European summer holidays, so everybody's off, crazy busy. But once the schools go back in mid-January, then things quieten down a bit, although of course it's still middle of summer, so middle of peak season. But certainly it wasn't crazy crowded. You just need to plan. I mean, thank goodness James is good at planning. In Tsitsitkama, there's not so much stuff that you can do. You'll have seen what we did. But on our last day, it absolutely bucketed down with rain. It was torrential rain. We had a 2-hour drive to the airport, which we didn't re-record. And it was torrential rain, which is a little bit scary when you're in a rental car that you don't know. But there really isn't anything to do. If we were there, if we'd arrived that day and it was going to rain the next day, what would we have done?
There isn't much in the way of indoor activities. Everything's outdoor, but I think the majority of the water activities probably still went ahead, because it's going to be wet no matter what.
But of course, you know, if you want to know any more about the itinerary that we followed, or you want help putting your itinerary together, then make sure you use JR, our travel advisor, and you can access him via jamesandrob.com. It's on the bottom of every single page, and you can just have a chat in there, and it's trained on all of our travels and our experiences in Africa and everywhere else in the world. So make sure.
And you can download the itinerary as well on the website. Absolutely.
James has painstakingly put all the details of this itinerary onto the website. We will put a link in the notes attached to this video, so you can download all of that. All of this is for free, by the way, the AI advisor and the free guide, completely free. James details everything from the hotels, the recommended restaurants, the route, the driving time, and all the rest of it. So there's a lot of details in there, which I'm sure people will find helpful, because if you're like me and you don't particularly enjoy planning, then that definitely gives you a big catapult forward to get started. But other than that, next week we are going to be spent showing you more of what it's like to live here. We'll tell you about the apartment in more detail, and we'll talk about a typical day in life of someone that's living here rather than being on holiday and wondering whether that's something that you could do. And I'll also talk about, because I was ill and I had to go to the dentist, to talk about that experience as well, because Obviously you want to make sure that if you do get sick, you are well covered, and South Africa serves you really well in that respect. But other than that, this is
James
and Rob signing off for now, and we will see you next week.
Bye.